Shooting suppressed is where it's at. You guys recognize this as the 300 blackout gun that I built, a while ago. If you want to know specs on it, we have a full video on it. You got a Gemtech on the end of it right here. One of the things about shooting suppressed is you get kind of spoiled on it. Alright, you become kind of a snob when you start shooting suppressed, and you kind of want to tweak things in your gun to make it run better, make it sound better, and all that sort of stuff. One of the things that really kind of stinks when you shoot suppressed is you have this massive spring noise in your ear from the buffer spring on your AR. It's right next to your face, not a whole lot you can do about it because your ear's right there, and you can hear it because you have no ear protection on usually, and the gun doesn't make a whole lot of noise, especially when you're shooting something like the Freedom Munitions subsonic 300 blackout. However, there is something that you can do. This is the JP Enterprises silent capture spring. This is 300 blackout 5.56. This is 9mm. What we're going to do today is compare with and without the JP Enterprises silent capture spring in the gun and see how it affects the spring noise that we hear from the gun. I know that this gun in particular gives a lot of spring noise. We have a 9mm carbine over there as well. We're going to throw the 9mm in there and see what we can do with it. But right now, we're going to go ahead and roll in this thing, see if we can't get rid of some thwong.
300 blackout with the standard spring. Off the plate. Alright guys, we're getting ready to change out the mil-spec buffer spring for the JP Enterprise silent capture now. Now this is the first time I've ever done this with this thing, and I'm being told it's pretty tricky. When they send them to you, you get the buffer, and then for some reason they send this rifle length buffer tube adapter, and I really don't know anybody that uses one of these anymore, so spare parts. So anyway, here we go. Let's see what we can do. Gun safe. Let's see here. Now I'm being told that it makes it easier if you push the hammer down to kind of get the buffer past it. And it's kind of hung up on the spring there a little bit. There we go. Okay. Alright, so this thing will operate without the detent, and if you want to remove it you can, but we elected to keep it in. And so we're going to put it back together and put some Freedom Munitions ammo in it and see what she sounds like. Here we go. I'm going to be listening real close because, with the mil-spec buffer spring, you got that twang in your ear. I'm going to be listening real close to see if I can find the difference here. So here we go.
Put some into the berm. do you think there, Doc?
There's a noticeable difference, very noticeable. Now basically all you're hearing is the bolt carrier group, you know, coming back and forth. The twang from the spring is virtually gone. It's a noticeable difference. I think it's a pretty good product. You know, like you were saying earlier, you know, you're always looking at ways to tweak it, refine it, make it better, and I think that this silent capture is what it says. You know, it just it quiets it down. You don't have that, what's the word you use? Thwong. The thwong in your ear. Yeah, it's the real deal, man.
All right, man. Well, hey, let's swap over and go to 9mm.
Okay, sounds good. Gun safe.
All right, guys and gals, we have a 9mm carbine here. This is one of our builds. You know, nothing special on here, just a standard 9mm carbine. We've seen this thing before. What we have here is a Gemtech GM9 that has been configured for use on this carbine. We'll go ahead and get this thing on here. This thing is basically a pistol can that we have retrofitted with a different piston to fit on our carbine. There we go. And we're ready to roll. I've got 165 grain free munitions 9mm Hush here. Here we go. Okay, so with a 9mm, there's actually a little bit more takedown that's involved than with the 300 Blackout 5.56 one that we used. This right here is what it looks like. It's a little bit different, as you can see, and there are weights here that are removable should you desire to, you know, influence the way this system runs. We're just going to run it as is for this, and hopefully it'll run with our subsonic 9mm. But I'm going to see if I can do a little bit better job than Doc did here. This is a palmetto buffer. Here you can see the thing there. And I'm just going to kind of fish it back down in there. And there you have it. So we have our silent capture spring installed into the lower. So the next thing that we need to do is remove the weight in the back of the bolt carrier group of a 9mm. This is there to add a little bit extra mass to the bolt carrier so that it operates properly under standard spring. And it also needs to be removed because the guide rod of the silent capture spring has to ride inside of the bolt carrier group. This is really easy to do. There's just a pin here that you punch out. And I'm not even going to really use real tools for this. I'm just going to improvise. I've got a bit here and an appropriately sized hammer. And we're just going to there you have it. Go ahead and push this weight out. Should come right out. Yeah, there you go. So all that extra mass there we don't need. And then this is ready to go right back inside of our upper. Standard spring. JP silent capture spring. 9mm. Alright, so I didn't notice that much of a difference between the JP silent capture spring and the standard spring on the 9mm as it did with the 300 Blackout. So there's only one thing left to do. And that, my friends, is to close this video out right and shoot them both at the same time. Thanks for watching the VSO Gun Channel. We'll see you guys in the next video.